I'm Rob from Barefoot Gaming, and this is a Fisherman's Tale virtual reality review. So I'm going to start with the basics. This is available on the HTC Vive, the Oculus Rift, Windows Mixed Reality, PlayStation VR, and it is, I would define it as a puzzle/escape room. Now, what's the story, you might ask? And if you haven't asked, you should, because that's kind of the primary point of this game. You are a wooden puppet. You live out every day kind of like the day before. That's the prologue, the setup. And you live in a lighthouse. Now, again, you're a puppet, keep that in mind. And in the center of your lighthouse, in one of your rooms, is a miniature version of the lighthouse. Now, very quickly, pretty much when the game begins, everything that happens in the lighthouse, you see yourself. So the game plays a lot on puzzles that involve you making things larger or smaller by either taking them out of the house or by putting them in. So if you put a large object into the house, well, I mean, it's going to be even larger, right? If you take a small object that was already in the house, it becomes quite small in your existing space. Now, this is not just one room. There are multiple rooms throughout the lighthouse, and your goal is to eventually get to the very top so you can light the lighthouse. None of the puzzles are especially difficult, but they all require some thought. Like, you can't just go, oh, that's what I'll have to do, or that's what I'll have to do. You kind of have to play around with it a little bit. And I really want to avoid spoilers, so I'm very careful what I'm going to show behind me and what you see. It is crazy difficult to review a puzzle-based game when I can't talk about the puzzles because I don't want to spoil it with spoilers. So I want to give you examples. I think the trailer gives you a little bit of an idea of how you maneuver stuff, but it's a well-made puzzle game. Know that going into this. The only other thing I should mention before I get to the actual review is this game supports full room scale if you have it. If not, you can play it seated because it allows you to do turning, like your quarter turning and such with your controls. And I think that's kind of it. Now, the game is priced right now anywhere between $12 and $15 US. But the first pro I'm going to say is the story is well done. The voice acting is well done. It's a little over-the-top French. You'll hear a lot of like the sacre blues and stuff, which is fine. The game is designed to be cute, and I have no issues with that. The mechanics work very well, from putting things inside and outside and moving things around. The entire concept of working a puzzle like this feels like it was designed for virtual reality, so major pro. This game is beautiful. The graphics are absolutely, I think they work great for virtual reality. Something else that this game does really well is the fact that it's not just solving a puzzle for the sake of solving a puzzle. You want to find out what's going on, and there is an emotional aspect to it. It's not going to pull at your heartstrings really hard, but there's a story, and it kind of feels, I mean, the fact that there's a narrator that speaks over everything that's happening around you makes it feel like you're inside of a storybook. And that's just one more thing that kind of, you know, adds to the immersion, makes you feel like what you're doing matters because you want to get to the solution. A con I'm going to list is the fact that there are only, I think, 4 chapters, plus a prologue and like the after type thing, the conclusion, and that's it. So I played from beginning to end in this game, and it took me around 74 minutes. Now, there are little bubbles or pearls that you can find that might make it take a little bit longer. However, I actually actively wanted to enjoy it. I didn't want to cut people off when they were talking by solving the puzzle too quickly. I didn't want to do anything like that. So the game isn't very long, but based on the price, I don't think that's out of line. Now, I'm not going to get to the score yet because there's a couple other things to mention. There were a couple of times where I had a little bit of glitching. So let's say you pick up an object, you move it into a smaller environment, and then you try to pick it up in the smaller environment to maneuver it around type thing. I'd have an issue where it would like glitch around a little bit, but it was pretty minor, and the game did just come out, so that's something I can kind of forgive. And I didn't run into it often. Everything kind of locks into place where it's supposed to go. And if I didn't mention it before, none of the puzzles were super difficult. And there's a really fine line to try to get the right level of difficulty, because if it's too easy, it's not fun, and if it's too hard, it's not fun. And everyone puzzles differently, and I think they did a good job finding the middle ground. If you don't like puzzle games, this game isn't going to be for you anyway. If you're looking for a shooter, there's no shooting. It's just relaxing. I played it in room scale, so I got to enjoy kind of walking around the parts I recorded for the gameplay. I just stood still, but I just got to walk around and just enjoy the experience. Honestly, I highly recommend this. He did a good job with the story. My only real negative is the fact that it's really short. I wanted more. When the game ended, I wanted there to be more. Now, in under 2 hours, realistically, you can, like if you're buying this on Steam, you can return it. Don't do that. If you're gonna buy it, support the developer, and there's already been talk that if the game sells well, he would like to create some kind of DLC. So keep that in mind. I am scoring this a 4.25 out of 5. Highly recommended for a puzzle game if that's your thing. The shortness really frustrated me because I felt like I was just getting into the game and it ended. But that's it. That's a review for A Fisherman's Tale VR. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I will do my best to answer. Subscribe if you want to see more of our stuff. Like if you liked the video. I will talk to you again real soon. See ya.